I was just what well, I actually turned the England game off in the end. I turned it off, but yeah, there's this free step to abandoning a football match that is now suddenly a thing. 3 steps. It should be 1 step if we're all being honest with ourselves. As soon as Tyrone Mings is giving it, did you hear that? The game should be done and dusted. It's as simple as that. Now, it's 2019. Half of their fans ain't even allowed in the ground. You can see by the thumbnail for this video that these people are just absolute clowns, losers of life. And it's still a thing. It is still a thing. And how do we stop it? How does it get stopped? How do we move forward from this? Because it's disgusting. Let's be real, right? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what colour your skin is. You should be able to go out onto a football pitch, enjoy your football and play the game. You should be able to go to a football match as a fan and enjoy a game. You should be able to walk around the streets of anywhere in the world and not have that going on. It's absolutely disgusting what's going on. And excuse me, you've got to ask yourself the question, what's being done about it? Because they can put all this 3 step to abandoning a match into play. It shouldn't be 3 steps. It shouldn't. It should be 1 step and game over. Simple as that. And if people think that they can, exactly, S.Teov, I saw them doing the Nazi salute. Exactly, they were doing it constantly, mate. You know, and some of the stuff they're singing is disgusting. I ain't going to repeat it for obvious reasons, but some of the stuff they're singing, man, is absolutely out there. It is just bang out of order. And listen, we can sit here and talk about football as a separate entity to society, right? This ain't just a football thing. This is a life thing, a society thing. And it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And more needs to be done. And people can say, oh, yeah, well, it's not as bad as it used to be, or there's steps in play and in place to do this and that. No. At the end of the day, there should be no steps. There should be no 3 strikes and you're out. Yeah. It's 2020 in a couple of months. And this is still a thing at football, let alone football. It's still a thing in life. You know, there's still people out there, and people can say it comes down to education. Complete rubbish. Absolute rubbish. It's nothing to do with education, because you could be one of the most educated people on the planet and still be racist. Yeah, you could be educated about racism. You could be educated about why people are racist, why they're not racist, whatever, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, it's the most disgusting behavior. It's the most vile form of abuse and most disgusting form of abuse you can ever receive. Listen, I'm a white guy. You can all see that. I can't even imagine how Tyrone Mings feels tonight, you know, and Sterling and Rashford and all the other players that are on the pitch that are getting subjected to that. It's disgusting behaviour, man. And the thing is, do you know what? I'm glad England are spanking them. I don't even enjoy watching England. Yeah, I watch them at the Euros. I watch them at a World Cup. It's very rare I watch England. I've watched the game the other night. I've turned this one off at half time at 4-0. I turned it off. But all of them players, see, this is the thing, right? You could sit there and say, well, the players should walk off. But then if the players walk off, yes, that could have some sort of knock-on effect. And it could be, look, high-profile England footballers have walked off a pitch because they're subjected to racism. But then on the flip side of that, what's going to happen? Yeah, Bulgaria might get kicked out of the competition. So what? It still means they're racist. You know, that's not going to fix that problem, is it? It's not going to solve the issue. It just means they get kicked out of a tournament or kicked out of a qualifying process for a tournament, right? So does that mean that by walking off the pitch, you've then let them win, even though they're kicked out officially? Because you're basically saying it's 5-0 now. Well, there you go. Let's hope it goes 10. Let's totally embarrass them. But at the same time, if you do walk off of the pitch, does that give the opposite effect and say, well, look, you've won. We've had to stop playing. So it's kind of a hard situation. It's never going to be an easy answer to how you deal with this, right? But something does need to be done. And not just in football, but in life in general, because you could go down to any part of the world and you will find somebody that's racist against somebody else from outside of their country, or from somebody else of inside of their country that's a different race or creed or whatever, right? And it's just wrong. It's wrong, man. Listen, at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We're all human. We all have hearts. We all have our own minds. And regardless of whether it's been passed down through generation and generation or whatever, at the end of the day, yeah, surely at some point you look at yourself and go, do you know what I am doing here is wrong. Them guys, the thumbnail I've put up, them guys, there was loads of them, hundreds of them in that crowd, all doing a Nazi salute, and they're all singing some vile stuff against some of our players, English players, yeah? Like Tyrone Mings even said to the referee, did you hear that? Did you hear that? He said. At that point, the game should be dead. Yeah, the officials should call the game off. The players, I don't think the players should walk off the pitch. Let me just say that. I don't think they should. Because if they do that, they've accepted that, well, look, it's got to us and blah, blah, blah. And of course it's going to get to them. Yeah, of course it is. But at the same time, that's down to the match officials who are run by UEFA and FIFA to say, do you know what? Tyrone Mings has said, did you hear that, ref? Let me go and have a word with Tyrone Mings, see what was said. And do you know what? He's a professional footballer. Professional. Yeah, he's not a footballer. He's a professional. And if he don't feel that something was said to him that was right or like not in the right context, it shouldn't have been said, then that referee, them officials should say, do you know what? We're calling the game off. See ya. And then they should report back to UEFA and FIFA, tell them what's happened, and then deal with it in some way from there. There's no easy way to stop racism. Yeah, no easy way whatsoever, because it's so ingrained in society and it's so ingrained in people that it's going to continue for a long, long time, sadly. And them people that were standing there doing them salutes and singing them chants, they've been beamed all across the world tonight. Go and find them. Go and find them. Yeah, go and arrest every single one of them. Yeah, and then try somehow to get that out of their head. Can you do that? Probably not, but at least have a go. But there we go. Anyway, listen, I'm not going to keep the stream going too long because I'm just going to get wound up by it. So we'll do another 10 minutes max and I'm out of it. So anyway, listen, let me read some of these comments out. Shame on them, says Hacks. F all the racist people. Exactly, Ibrahim. And anyone who's joined this stream late, anyone who was watching the England or Bulgaria versus England game, that's where this stream has come from. I don't normally get involved in topics out there because I just get angry by them. But I did want to say something about this because at the end of the day, it's a disgrace what's just gone on tonight. And fair play to them lads that are still out there, still slapping goals in. Yeah, fair play to Sterling, Tyrone Mings, Rashford. Yeah, fair play to all of them because they're still going out there and they're still absolutely spanking Bulgaria. So all them clowns that were in the crowd tonight for Bulgaria, and they are clowns because that's the best way I can describe them. Clown. Yeah, clown. So anyone who has joined late and asking me what's happened, the racial abuse on Tyrone Mings is disgusting. The Nazi salutes in the crowd, disgusting. They've been beamed all over the world to millions of people watching globally, watching that England game tonight. And they've gone through 2 of the 3 steps to abandon the match. They did 2 of them 3 steps in the first half. There is still a chance that the first step could happen. Gareth Southgate was talking to the officials at half time in the tunnel at half time. But it's absolutely disgusting, man. Seriously, 2020 nearly. Here's a good comment. I'm going to read that out. A&M O'Brien says Sterling shutting the racism up. Exactly. Sterling. Right, by the way, Rashford's goal tonight. I don't really rate Rashford, but his goal was mad. Unbelievable finish. What a finish that was. But let's hope Sterling goes and completes his hat trick. And let's hope we go and slap another 3 or 4 goals past him before the game ends. I'm very good, Tom. I hope you're well, mate. Jealousy and uneducated, says Aaron. Do you know what? I don't think it's so much uneducated. Jealousy could play a part, but I don't think it's uneducated because some people in this world have got great parents that have educated them. They've gone to nice schools. They've had a proper upbringing, but somehow they've fallen into a racist way of life where they think they can go to a football match and they can go and abuse people in the terraces. And it don't just happen in football. It happens in any walk of society, right? And it's more a society issue than it is a football issue, but it's highlighted when it's football because we all enjoy football. You know, we don't walk down the street and see 200 people doing that down the road, do we? But when it's beamed around the world on TV, we're going to see that. It's going to be highlighted. It's not just a football thing. It's a society thing. And until it's stamped out of society, it's never going to be stamped out of football. Now, how do you do that? How do you police that? How do you come to a way where everyone on the planet is suddenly accepting of everybody else. I genuinely don't think you can. So then you've got to come up with things that will like and put an imposement on somebody. So, for example, right, this is what I would do with Bulgaria right now. Win, lose, or draw tonight. If their fans did what they've done, kick them out of the tournament. Bye bye. You're kicked. Yeah, and you're kicked out the next 10 tournaments. See ya. Bye bye. Yeah, gone. Yeah, that's maybe brushing it and sweeping it under the carpet. But guess what? England are never, ever, ever going to have to play Bulgaria for the next 50 years or the next 5 tournaments, whatever it may be. Yeah, no qualifications, nothing. Right? So they're kicked. So now all they do is set up the odd friendly for their national team. Yeah, cool. Now everybody knows they're a racist nation, or a part of their country is a racist minority, should we say, because they're not all racist. I actually know a couple of Bulgarians, and they're sweet, to be fair, right? But at the same time, if you kick them out of the next 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 tournaments, whatever it may be, and qualifying processes for them tournaments, they're now not going to be beamed all around the world live. So if they want to go and set up a friendly with somebody else, another nation, cool, that'll be aired on their national TV. Do what you're doing. Yeah, kick them out. Kick them out. They're getting slapped right now. We're slapping them 5-0. They're getting absolutely battered. Half of their fans left at half time. All the ones that wanted to go there and cause problems, holding up, I think it was a hoodie or a T-shirt with no respect written on it. Yeah, and it was the UEFA badge and it said no respect. And they're all standing there doing a Nazi salute. Absolutely disgusting. Kick them. Yeah, and every single one of them should be arrested. Yeah, you've got their faces, go and arrest every single one of them. The problem is, I'm not labelling all Bulgarians like this. Like I said, I do know a couple of Bulgarians. But at the same time, the fact that they've been allowed to do that in a football stadium without anyone actually attempting to pull them up on it, i.e. their local police, yeah, it says all we need to know right now, doesn't it? Absolutely disgusting. Yeah. And if that was in England, or if that was anywhere else, Spain, Germany, place like that, and they were doing them salutes and they were giving racial abuse to Tyrone Mings, which they did, yeah, they'd be nicked and they'd be banned from football, right? Now, that's not necessarily the answer, because that still don't get it in there. They're still going to be racist, even though they're not banned from football. There has to be a way, and I don't know what that way is. I don't think there's an easy answer to the way, but thank you, THC of UYO, for your donation. Appreciate it, mate. Stilian Petrov, great Bulgarian. Who did he play for? Oh, yeah, the mighty Aston Villa. Well, listen, Stilian Petrov was a very good player, mate. Played for Celtic as well. Brilliant player, James. Russell Barkley says, arrested for what? Go and watch the highlights, mate. Well, they're not highlights, they're lowlights. Go and watch, I'm sure it'll be all over the news tonight. I'm sure it'll be all over social media. So go and have a look if you want, mate. But they should be arrested fully for what they've done tonight. Just had the match on. They're absolutely sickening, disturbing. Really, only a numbskull would hate another person because of the colour of their skin. Exactly, Evan. Listen, at the end of the day, yeah, we're all human beings. Yeah, just because you might be Asian, you might be black. Yeah, what's that got to do with anything? If you don't like somebody, yeah, why should the colour of their skin come into saying? You don't like these fans that are giving it all the abuse tonight. They don't know Raheem Sterling. They just don't like England. Yeah, and they don't like a black man. Yeah, it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, mate. Seriously. I don't agree with it, though. No, fair enough, Russell. Fair enough. But at the end of the day, it's just shocking, man. Seriously, it's shocking. Like, you're sitting there at, 9 o'clock at night, 8:45 at night. You're sitting there, you've had your dinner, you're having a couple of drinks, having a cup of tea, whatever you're doing, and you see that on your TV. And it's like, nah, man, 2019, and this is still actively happening at football matches around the world. Kick them. Kick them. When we've slapped them, which we're fully slapping them, kick them. Kick them out of the tournament. Say bye-bye. Yeah, you're banned for the next 10 tournaments. See ya. See you in 40 years. Maybe sort your country out and come back to us. Yeah, or the minority in the country. Because I ain't going to label all Bulgarians like that. I'm sure they're not all like that. Yeah, but it's a joke. It is a joke. And like I said earlier, right, if the players did walk off the pitch, then for me, I'm not a black guy. You can see that. I'm a white guy. I've never been subjected to racism. I've got a lot of friends that are black. got a lot of friends that are Asian. I've got a lot of friends that are Eastern European, in fact, right? And none of them have ever been racist towards me. So I don't know what it feels like to be subjected to racial abuse. I will never understand what that feels like. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend I do. Right? But at the same time, for me, as an outsider looking in, if our players walks off of that pitch, that to me would say, well, you've won because we've had to stop playing. Yeah, we've had to stop playing. So do you know what they're doing tonight by staying on and fully slapping them? And do you know what's ironic is Raheem Sterling is killing dreams right now. Yeah, he is proper having it. And fair play to that geezer, yeah? Fair play to him. And to Rashford and to Tyrone Mings, all three of them, yeah? Mings actually played very well in that first half. I thought he was one of the best players on the pitch. Rashford's goal was mad and Sterling's just Sterling. He's sick, isn't he? Right? So the fact that all three of them have stood up and said, no, we're just going to raise our game. Yeah. But at the same time, this has been a thing for years and years and years since before my lifetime. And it's still going on. It's wrong, man. Here we go. G-Man, I am from Bulgaria and you're absolutely right, mate. Those are animals. It's disgusting. No to racism. Big up yourself, bruv. Listen, I've never been to Bulgaria. I would go one day. Don't get me wrong. Definitely would go. And like I said earlier, I'm sure it's a small minority, but the small minority, when they're live on TV, beamed all over the world, are going to make the country look stupid. Yeah, and they're going to make every Bulgarian sit there and think, oh my God, what are these people doing? Yeah, and it's always the minority that gets seen when they're on TV. You know, and the thing is, at the same time, I do tend to blame the camera guy as well, who's controlling the cameras, who are the team of camera guys that are controlling the cameras on TV. Why are they panning in on that? Yeah, I get it to a certain degree that they're trying to highlight it and say, look what's happening here. But at the same time, all they're doing is giving them airtime. So why would you do that? Yeah, it's a hard one. Don't get me wrong. It is a hard one. It's saying that, like I said, I don't want to speak for too much longer about it because it just winds me up. Yeah, it's disgusting, man. 2 years, no fans can come to a match. Well, that's all right. But then in 2 years' time, they just all come back with a vengeance, didn't they? So it is tough. There's no one answer to kill racism off. There ain't. And it's not going to happen overnight. It should. Listen, this was still going. This was a thing like back in the 70s, man. Players were being racially abused in the 70s. We're now in 2019, and this is still going on. Let's read some more of these, and I'll get out of here. Bulgaria fans are walking out the stadium. Ilias, they were walking out the stadium after they gave it their little salutes and their chants and their dirty racism. And then they walked out after they held their T-shirt up saying no respect with UEFA printed on it. Yeah, they were doing that. So they only went there to cause trouble, didn't they? And the thing is, like I said, the camera guys who are controlling the cameras shouldn't even pan in on it. Don't even pan in on it. And if Tyrone Mings, and you clearly see it at half-time, anyone who watched the game, at half-time, they showed a replay and it had the voice of Tyrone Mings. You could see the footage of him. It had the volume turned up, and he clearly looked at one of the officials and said, "Did you hear that?" Yeah, at that point, that game should be dead. Yeah, the officials should call the game off. We get a 3-0 win. You're kicked out of the competition. Ta-ta. Yeah, and every single one of them fans that was in that ground that's doing that should be nicked. But there we go. Evan says, also, the commentary keep bringing it up every 2 seconds. Exactly. Exactly. The thing is, at some point, listen, it does need highlighting, right? But at the same time, you can highlight it in a different way, in my opinion. And highlighting it in a different way to me would be when Tyrone Mings says to the officials, "Did you hear that?" He blows the whistle, he speaks to Mings, and he says, "What happened? What happened?" You then tell him, he then pulls the game. Because, like I said, he is a professional footballer. He's not going to stand on a pitch on his debut and make up lies, is he? Let's be real. So you take the professional footballer's word for it, you abandon the match. Yeah, and then you deal with it from there. But I don't know. Like I said, there's no one easy answer to the question of how you stop it. I don't get it. Right? There is no one easy answer, and it's a subject that we could sit here for the next forever. So yeah, half of Bulgaria is dark skinned, half of my family is black. I don't get your point, bruv. Are you Bulgarian? Listen, I'm sure you're a nice Bulgarian that weren't joining in with that if you are, mate. Did Harry Kane do enough in the situation in which Mings got the chance? Well, listen, what can Harry Kane do? He can only he was speaking to the ref. So was Jordan Henderson. What can you do if the referee you don't know what the referee's saying back? Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do a few more of these. I'm going. Can anyone tell me why the abuse James McLean got was overlooked? I have no idea, Jack, but I know what you're on about. Listen, nearly 300 people watching live. I do appreciate that. We're now slapping them 6-0. Kane's on the score sheet. Now let's make it 10. Some of the Bulgarian players should stand up and tell those racist fans to shut up. Do you know what? You've just brought something into my mind that I completely forgot about. Popov, who plays for Bulgaria. Fair play to that guy. Yeah, because at half time he didn't go in and have the chat with the team. He was standing there talking to their fans. He was actually at the fence and he was talking to all the fans. A lot of the fans, or the majority of the fans that were causing all the problems, had already left, but a lot of them were still there. And he was stood there and he was talking to him through the fence the whole of that half time. So fair play to Popov. Yeah, fair play to him. There's a black player for Bulgaria, says Abdu Ali Ahmed. Listen, there's black players in Italy as well, mate, that play for Juventus, for Juve, for Inter, so on, so on. Don't stop them being racist. You know, there's black players that play for Chelsea. Didn't stop their fans being racist when they were in Paris. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Best way to stop it is by ignoring it, I think. Thanks for your donation. I appreciate that. And listen, I'm going to get out of it, man, because I'm just going to get pissed off. So thank you very much. I just wanted to say my little piece. I've read some of your comments. There's no easy way to stop it, man, but it does need stopping, and let's hope that it does get stopped soon, because why should it be a thing? It's nearly 2020, man. Anyway, I'm going to go. I will be back tomorrow, so make sure you come back and check that out. Laters, peeps.